Okay, welcome to the December meeting on traveling. Too many steps. That's what I used to say. I still do sometimes, I guess. Before we start, I just want to mention I was thinking of this earlier today, and I know not everyone celebrates Christmas, but for the holidays, people are always thinking about what they're thankful for. And I am truly thankful for all of you because I was getting all excited to come to do this meeting. And I'm like, I can't do this meeting unless there's other people that like going through videos too. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for being here month after month after month. And for those that are on YouTube that are watching it month after month after month, it means a lot to me. So thank you all very much. Why don't we get started with some videos, right? I'm going to go down my list. This one is a dive for the ball. Watch it. All right. Happens in the corner. And the kid jumps on the ball and slides a good 6 feet, maybe not quite. But no whistle was blown for traveling. They called a timeout, but did anybody have a travel on that?
No.
Why no travel?
Because you can slide.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a pivot foot. His feet are sliding along the floor.
No travel.
Yeah, no travel, but
All right. So when you're jumping on the ball, you're not falling with the ball. That's different. If you fall with the ball, that's a travel. But when you're jumping on the ball that's already on the floor and your momentum takes you 4, 6, 8 feet, depending how hard you jump, it is not considered traveling because it's your momentum. You can't stop yourself from sliding by trying really hard. He's running hard to get to that ball first. He wants to get there. You're not going to then penalize him because his momentum takes him across into the corner. Now, if he slides on the line and he's out of bounds, whether his momentum took him there or not, that would be a violation of the out of bounds. What about him turning over? Is this a travel?
No.
You guys are real good with one word answers. Why not?
Because I think you can do that. As long as you don't, maybe in that case, he's all right. But if you're on the ground with your chest and then you roll over, then it could be a travel.
All right. So the rule as it is written does not say that you cannot flip over, you cannot turn over. Doesn't say that in the rules. There's a casebook play that mentions it, but the rule says any attempt to get up. Would you say he's attempting to get up here?
No.
No, his momentum's taking him. He's trying to move into a position so he can throw the ball. I would say that's not a turnover. That's not a flip over. That is simply I'm now trying to get rid of the ball because I'm sliding into the corner. Do we agree with the timeout here? I'll play it fast and see if you can see. I don't know if you can hear the background. There's a fan calling for a travel. Did he have the ball for a timeout?
Yes.
Let's see. Squirts out here. He's holding. Look at the coach. Look at the red coach. Does he have possession of that ball?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, he does. And it takes the official a little bit of time to react. That is a timeout. That's a legit timeout, I think. Yeah. All right, so we can slide on the floor as long as it's our momentum. I mean, how else are you going to slide? You can't, if you make yourself slide, then it's not really a slide. You're moving, you have to move your feet or you're crawling. But if your momentum takes you on a slide, that is legal. All right, we all agree with that. Y'all are too smart. Let's go.
But we've all seen people call that traveling,
Yeah, and there was a fan, as I said, in the stands that was asking for it. This one next is falling to the floor. This one, the last one dove on the ball on the floor. This one's more of a fall. Here it goes. Official calls a travel. I'm going to show it fast again, and then we'll play it slow and see what you think. What did you see real time?
Held ball.
Got a held ball?
He lost the ball too.
Yeah, that's what I say, John. He didn't have control of the ball.
All right, so but what does that mean then? So he didn't have control of the ball. That's not what I asked you.
Sorry, teacher.
Yeah. Well, that was our answer.
No travel. He didn't have control of the ball.
Okay, so let's just expand that. If you're not holding the ball, can you travel?
No.
You cannot violate the traveling rule if you're not holding the ball, because the rule states traveling is moving a foot or feet in any direction in excess of the prescribed limits while holding the ball. That's the first sentence of the traveling rule. So, was he holding the ball?
No, he lost control of it.
Looks like it's out of his hands here. So since he's not holding the ball and he falls to the floor, that can't be a travel. He didn't have the ball, right?
Right.
Correct.
All right. Now let's go back. Someone said they have a held ball, which it looks like if you watch the coach, that's what he's looking for. I think that's what he's doing.
Should the center be called in this one?
The center can get this, yes. I think the
Or
trail,
not call it because he's got a better view.
it came from the trail, so the trail's
Yeah.
following the play. So that it's natural that the trail gets that. But look where the ball
Okay.
is at right now.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
Anybody, that's in
That intersection of every
Yeah.
primary coverage. So really, any official can really get this if they see it. I think the lead is completely stacked on the action. Can't see if he's holding it or not. Can't see if the grabbed or not. So the lead's kind of out.
Mm-hmm.
The center needs to move. He's standing right behind
Right.
the player. How can he see? Right behind the player. Just take a step up.
Agree.
Okay. And then the trail, as I had said, is watching the play all the way from where it started. So I think it's okay that the trail has this call, except that it wasn't to travel.
But that's right here. He can't make the call because how can he see?
So if
That's what I'm
he is
thinking.
looking at the play right here and he says he's not sure if he's holding the ball or not,
Right,
he
right.
shouldn't blow his whistle.
I agree.
Now, that's not to say he said in his mind he was holding the ball, he fell to the ground. That might be what he thinks, and he's does no doubt in his mind that's what happened, even though it didn't, right? But if you do say to yourself, I can't see if he's holding the ball or not, then you have to withhold your whistle. You just have to let it play on because, again, you penalize this kid, and he didn't really do anything wrong. I mean, he got the ball yanked from his hands, but all right, I want to go back to this held ball situation. Okay. Clearly, there's a little tussle here. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, everyone has a little bit of a different preference on held balls. But what does the rule say? I know this is not a held ball meeting, but what does the rule say about a held ball where opponents have their hands so firmly on the ball? That control cannot be obtained without undue roughness. Let's play this. Would you say that was undue roughness?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
There was one or two tugs on it, nothing major. It didn't even, real time, it didn't even really raise an antenna of, oh no, this is going to get out of control. It was like one tug. I'm allowing one or two tugs to see who can get it. And if it can't be gained control after that, then it might escalate to undue roughness, and then you might want to come in. But I usually give that one or two tugs at it because generally speaking, there's usually one player that's stronger than the other. Or in this case, maybe the kid was already starting to lose it. And then if you call a held ball too quickly, then you take away that advantage of them being able to pull it away. We agree with that?
Agree.
All right. So you can slide with your momentum, not a travel. You can fall to the ground if you're not holding the ball, not a travel, right? You have to be holding the ball. Okay. So far, so good. Next video. Let's watch this one. I'm not going to say anything. Traveling called. I'm going to play it fast again now that you know what you're looking at. What do we think? Did you see traveling? You agree? Or was that not a travel?
He lost control of the ball, so I'm saying no travel there. It looked ugly, but I'm saying no travel.
Ugly is not a violation?
That's why I said no travel. That's not a violation.
That's not true.
Did we see what happened there? So here we go.
He regained control.
He's dribbling, and it dribbles a little high, and he's like, oh, crap. Is he holding the ball?
No, it's not holding the ball.
He's not holding the ball, is he?
No,
Not
it's
yet. Not
It
yet.
looks like maybe he got it here. Maybe he's still trying to get it and then passes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good play.
All right. Can you travel if you're not holding the ball?
No.
You can carry.
You can't carry if you're not holding the ball. How can you carry if the ball's not touching your hand, right?
Well, right there.
All right. This is not a carry meeting either, but let's talk about it. The ball bounces, bounce. Does it look like this ball moves at all in any different bounce pattern because of his hand?
Did it bounce off his okay, because I'm trying to see if it bounced off his body.
A carry would be causing it to come to rest and stay at rest for a certain amount of time, right? And moving the ball without it bouncing. I think this one is just continuing to bounce. And then as he grabs it in the air. Yes? This is not a carry. This is not a carry.
Not a carry. Okay.
No, it's not a carry. No, that's
The ball, the ball gets away from him. And as he regains, you can't travel while you're holding the ball. And as he regains control, looks like his right foot goes down.
And he passes it.
And he passes it before his left foot even goes to the floor, which also would have been legal. That's legal.
Yeah, that's actually a good play by the kid. After he lost control of the ball.
He was trying to go so fast on this break. It's not even a break. Oh, and then he passes it over. All right. Now, again, this is so far the recurring theme. If you're not holding the ball, you can't be in violation of the traveling rule. Agreed?
Great.
Yes.
Far so good. These are all easy, I guess. All right. Let's find the next one. Let's go to the Eurostep. I know you're holding the ball on the Eurostep. kind of. All right, here it goes. All right. Official calls a travel. I'm going to play it fast again and then stop it. Definitely a weird looking, awkward looking play. Yes?
Yeah.
But was it traveling?
Looks like the left foot hits again, so I'm saying
Yeah.
yes on this one. It is a travel.
I thought it was one, two, and you jump up. If he jumps up, because the other foot is still down. If he
All
jumps
right.
up,
So
travel.
he's coming in, and we have to be holding the ball in order to establish a pivot foot. Yes?
correct.
Now he is.
I'm gonna now, and this is not just a Eurostep thing. This is any layup to the basket. I am going to be very liberal into what I consider that first pivot foot, because if you are a stickler, you have a travel on every layup almost,
Pretty much.
right?
Yes.
Because
I
once
know.
you hold the ball, the foot that's touching the floor is your pivot foot. Well, that doesn't make for good basketball, and that's not how players play anymore. In fact, FINA and NBA, they all have that gather step because this is the natural motion. All right, we don't have that in high school, but you could say, "Oh, he's holding the ball here, and his right foot's on the ground." No, I'm going to, because he's going so fast, wait and say he has the ball while his feet are here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So he's got it. And I almost always say on a layup to the basket or that kind of a motion, they are gathering the ball with both feet off the floor. That's just the way I'm going to look at it. It keeps you out of trouble from calling these like super strict traveling rule. You're going to get yelled at every time and probably run out of the gym if you do that. So with that said, this left foot becomes the pivot foot.
Right. Mhm.
Okay. Can we all agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now he's moving toward his teammate, 33 White, and that path. Do we agree?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And once he plants that foot, where does he go?
It's to the right, to the opposite side.
He completely changes direction.
Right.
And then when the right foot plants, is that traveling?
No.
No.
That's the non-pivot foot.
Right. And you can still go up.
He picked his pivot foot up.
But it didn't go back down yet.
Are you allowed to pick your pivot foot up?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Every time, absolutely, you can pick up your pivot foot. But I think it was George who said you can't put it back down. Does he put it back down?
Close.
Really close.
Because he changes his direction again. Look at that foot. It's in between Blue Zero's legs. Can you see the bottom of the foot there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not on the ground.
No.
Not on the ground. Not on the ground. And he releases the ball.
Good play.
That's not a travel.
That is an excellent, excellent play by that player.
Yeah. I had a kid tonight. He kept doing it, but he was doing it boom, boom, and he'd jump up and go directly to the basket. It was like perfection. He perfected his little Euro step, but it was working.
You have to remember on a Euro step, and a lot of kids would have put that foot down and it would have been illegal.
Legal, right? No,
But you have to remember on these Euro steps, which they're not technically Euro steps because you're not allowed in Europe. Again, they use FINA and you're allowed that zero step, which makes it look even more awkward. But this is about as close as I have found, where he literally changed direction 2 times and doesn't put that foot back down. That's legal. It's not the direction you go. It's where your feet are planted and which feet are planted. Agreed?
I disagree a little bit on that because I think he gathered the ball with that other foot by the elbow before.
All right, we've already moved past that. If that's what you determine, and I will address it. If that's what you determine, then you are correct. Then you have a travel. Okay, so if you're going to say nope, he totally has it here.
Yep.
And that goes 1-2. Then you're right. It is a travel, 100%. But when they're going fast to the bucket, relatively
Right.
fast, and they're dribbling the ball and they're gathering it. I mean, I'm telling you, layups every time they gather it and that foot's on the ground. And then they go 1-2, which is a travel. And if they're wide open, nobody around them, and they do that, are you going to call a travel? Of course not, because there's nobody around. So why are we changing the rules when there's someone around? I mean, they're doing the exact same motion.
There's a travel. That looked like a travel and fast.
Yeah, far view, yeah.
All right, that one was a travel.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Took that one up, but nobody called it. Now, again, this is kind of to my point. Layups are very hard to call and catch, and they go right by. And are you going to nitpick? I'm not going to nitpick a travel. I'm not. Most travels in motion travels, I can't. Maybe I'm not good enough. I can't pick up if that was exact foot that it was down or not. If it's fast, now if they're holding the ball and they're pivoting and they slide their foot a little, like that's a little different, right? Because now you can tell which is the pivot foot and established.
But in the Eurostep, though, they can take advantage of it quite a bit. So that's something that, obviously it's hard to pick that up too as well. But, that's one where it's hard to establish when he got that pivot foot, just like you said.
I think it's different when you have like a breakaway than if you're considering, I'll say the term, punishing a defender who's in good legal position because you're allowing an offensive player to really get three steps, replace his pivot foot. That's, I think, the question we need to think about.
Okay, I think that's a fair statement because there's no defender around him. That's fine. I'm probably not going to change my philosophy, but I might think of it differently now. So we'll see how that talk to me in March, and let's see how I feel about that after another season. All right, I'm going to move on to the next. Play it.
Travel.
Okay, no whistle on this play. Here it is again, fast, and I'm going to let it play slow.
They let this go because of the score and the time.
Oh,
Seems like a good jump stop, but you can't pivot off it.
no.
Yep.
What do we think? Travel or no?
Travel.
Travel.
Yeah, travel.
Travel.
No whistle on the play. Let's break this down because this is a jump stop. I don't know who said that. But if he's dribbling the ball, grabs it here, above his head, grabs it. This is pretty obvious that his foot is on the ground while he's grabbing it. Yes?
Yeah. Yep.
So he jumps off that foot. What can he do?
Land on both feet.
Land on them.
Yeah. He's like 1-2 though.
Simultaneous enough for me.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Okay.
that one's really pushing it, I think, but real time, simultaneous enough for me to say, fine, good jump stop. But then who was it who said after this,
He travels.
you cannot pivot.
Right.
Okay, so when he does this, has he traveled?
I
Yeah.
think so.
As soon as he picks up the foot, yeah.
He has not traveled when he picks up the foot.
He can only go up
When
with
it
2 feet on
lands.
a shot. He
He
can't
can shoot or he can pass. He can pick a foot or both feet up, but he cannot do what with it then?
put it
Bring it
down.
back down.
Once he puts it down here, for sure as a step, yes?
Yeah.
So that would be a travel. So why didn't these officials call that? That looked pretty obvious, didn't it?
It's a 14-point game with 1:30 left. That's
Oh,
why.
I'm glad that you saw it and I didn't have to point it out. This team is beat. The game is over. And I just got done clipping this today, and I will tell you, the score doesn't even reflect how badly this team is getting beat. They can't do anything. So the officials are like, I ain't calling that. You want to pour some salt in their wound? This is a really great example of how we as officials do it every game, and we do it all the time. We can choose what we call and what we don't call, and we can ignore this rule. You would say, well, we can't do that. Well, what's fair to the game? What are we there for? We're there to make sure that each team has a fair ability, a fair chance of winning the game. Yes? So by not calling that, are we altering that chance of fairness?
No.
No, not one bit. So I thought this was a great no call. As obvious as it was, as terrible of a travel as it wasn't worth the headache you're going to get if you call it. And you may not get a headache, but it's like, why are you going to stop the game? It has no bearing on it whatsoever. Guys say, and this is where I say this a lot, but guys say, well, we shouldn't be reffing time and score. We do it all the time. And I say, we probably should. We shouldn't be doing time and score, in certain situations, but when it's a 30-point game or whatever, and yeah, absolutely. Why are we, trying to help another team beat up the losing team? Some of these teams, as we know, they play all the way to the end, and they will just shove the ball down their opponent's throat the entire time. Well, that's not really fair either, right? That's not in the spirit of the game in high school sports. So if a coach calls you out because they don't have the right perspective or the same perspective as you do about, I'm going to let it go, because I would never say to a coach, I'm not calling that. You're killing them. I wouldn't say that, because most coaches would go, yeah, okay, you're right. Most. But it takes one coach or one player to overhear it or whatever for it to blow up, right? And we're technically not supposed to be taking that in consideration. I get that. I would just say, oh, you're to your point. Okay, you're right. Maybe I missed that, coach. Yeah, you could be right. Or, yeah, you're right. I missed it, or whatever. You can make some statement acknowledging it, but I would never say, I'm not going to call that. You got a minute and a half to go. You're crushing them, right? I just think that's inviting problems.
Okay.
And again, I think most coaches, it wouldn't even be an issue. Most coaches get it, but we all know there's some coaches that don't get it. All right. How about, this is a good one, I think. Okay, traveling violation was called. Now you know what you're looking at. Watch it again. What do you think? Was he correct or was it illegal?
She still has the ball. She's dribbling.
Legal.
That's a legal play.
He looks good.
Dribble, spin.
Is she holding the ball here?
It comes back down. Yeah. It's a travel technically, but
is she holding the ball here?
Probably
she is. Her left foot is pivot.
I think we can say she's holding the ball. I agree. And yes, you are correct, Mike. Her left foot is her pivot foot.
Right.
Now, are we going to be a stickler on this pivot? It moves about a foot or so. Are you going to be a stickler on that? I'm not.
No.
I'm not, because she's pivoting, she's moving, she's not gaining an advantage necessarily. I'm going to allow that little shuffle, nothing. Okay? With that said, now has she traveled?
Not till left foot comes down.
She just picked her pivot foot up.
No.
Yeah, that's great. That's good, Josh.
What did we say earlier? You can always pick up your pivot foot. Always. Does she put it back down?
No.
No.
Legal play. The hardest part about any of these plays, and the spin move particularly, is determining when that first pivot foot is established. Because again, just like the layup, they're moving fast. The ball is dribbling. They need to be holding the ball. Yes, you can hold the ball with one hand, but it's kind of difficult when you're dribbling. Usually you're going to grab it with two hands. Again, I say usually, doesn't mean always. I look for a two-hand hold. That's generally a good way to determine. And if they're holding with two, and then you can determine that, okay, it's the left foot. Now we focus on the left foot and we go up. And if you say, well, she hopped and she slightly moved back, I would say, I don't like slight. Allow these kids a little bit of leeway when it comes to all rules so they can play basketball. I thought that was a legal play. Yes?
I think he called it on the foot moving, and
Yeah.
so that player gained advantage.
I think he called it on the, I agree, on her hopping on the foot.
Yeah.
You know, that's what he called.
I think you're right, because look where he's starting to do his hand movement is right up here.
Yeah,
He hasn't even completed. I think you're right. And I say allow that.
Okay.
You could say, oh, she gained a huge advantage. No, she didn't. If she had kept her foot there, it would have been the same, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't call that either, but by rule, that's a travel.
By it moving that slight little bit on that spin, she didn't gain any more advantage than she would have if it had stayed at that spot and she spun. Now, it's easy to say, and maybe in real time I get that. I knee-jerk some calls too where I see it and I get it. Foul or violation or whatever. But we have to, at least what I'm trying to do, I have to try and get a feel for the game because we're there to make sure, again, I said this already, to make sure that each team has the equal opportunity to win, right? So it's fair between the two. That is our job. That doesn't always mean that you apply the rule to the fullest extent of the law. In fact, I believe in the front, it says something about the intent and purpose of the rule or the spirit of the rule. It's something where we have to use our judgment to make sure that it's applied properly in the right situation. So I thought that was an okay play. All right. Here's one. You want to see one that I screwed up? Oh, I didn't do my Facebook play yet. Let me do the Facebook play first. All right. For all my Facebook friends, I put this up last week, and all I said was, do we have anything here? Here it is fast again, and then I'll let it play slow. Legal play, violation, foul, anything to see here.
Mm-hmm.
Change your pivot foot.
Rebound coming down. She grabs the ball.
No.
Right? Green 21 kind of gets in there to maybe get it, but she pulls it away. By pulling it away, her body kind of now forcefully moves in this direction. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Where's her pivot foot?
Right foot.
Her right foot. Up,
Yeah.
down.
Travel.
Yep.
And she pivots again with it. So you could
My thought is I'm still looking to see if she has control with the little bit of the contact that's going on. I might let that go. Right here.
Yeah, when she gained complete control.
Does she have complete control here?
Yes.
Pivoting on her right foot.
Right.
Right.
You're right. That's
Now we
wrong.
just talked about what fits the game. Don't be a stickler. Okay, I get that. But this one, she twists her body to get that ball. And then she couldn't keep control of herself and stepped again. That is a travel.
It sure is.
She made herself come off balance slight enough. And I know I don't like slight, but slight enough. But she did it to herself, and then she stepped again. I think this is a turnover. Agree or no?
Yes.
Totally agree. Absolutely.
Walking.
because you see it. She gained control. She
And
has control.
I see a lot of these. We miss a lot of travels where they change that pivot foot. I don't think the kids are really paying attention, to be honest with you. Boys and girls, they pivot, they come down and they do like a pivot, and then they pivot with the other foot. Maybe because they're normally pivot with their left, and they happen to land and pivot with the right when they got the ball. I'm not sure we should be ignoring all of those. Some of them probably makes no difference, especially if there's no defenders around, like we kind of talked about with some of the other things. If there's no advantage gained by doing it, we can maybe pass on it. But traveling is one of those funny rules where we can be such a stickler on one thing and yet allow it to happen on another thing because of advantage disadvantage. And it doesn't necessarily make it right one way or the other, but I think it's more of a, what did they gain out of doing the illegal act? Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Let's show one that I did really badly. I'm just going to let it play, see if you pick it up. I'm sure you will. Did you see it?
Yes. That's a bad foot.
He did
Wow,
it
that was
again.
bad.
I mean, that was right in front of you. I mean,
And it's
really?
live.
I mean, seriously, that was right.
It was right in front of me.
I mean,
That's
oh my God.
Josh. Did you think that was a Eurostep or?
All right. So here, I'll walk you
That's
through
the
my
right
thought
word, Dave.
process here. All right. It was actually a pretty good game, pretty competitive. The score didn't necessarily show the competitiveness, but it was a competitive game. He came down and he stops short. Okay.
Uh-oh, here we go.
And the pivot looks like it moves more than what I remember that it moved. Okay. I thought it moved slight and I allowed the slight. Okay. But then he kind of put it back again, which is bad. This is where I missed the travel. And I know I missed it when I missed it. And then I tried to sell that I didn't miss it.
Did the coach get up and say something to you?
They wanted to travel. They let it go. It was competitive and it didn't make any difference to the game. But okay, so we're gonna pass on this slight little foot drag, okay? Which I think is in and enough of itself to be called a travel in a competitive game. I think a little foot drag probably should be called, okay? But let's pass on that because I remember making a conscious decision to not call that. But then what does he do?
He does it again.
The
Picks
foot,
up his-
the
picks up-
foot, which is the pivot foot, that left foot is the pivot foot. Agreed?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. He picks up the pivot foot,
before
which
he drove.
is legal. Correct?
Yes.
You can always pick up the pivot foot. Always. But then what does he do?
Puts it back down.
The ball was not out of his hand
Yeah.
to start a dribble. The ball has to be released from the hand before that pivot foot comes up. And since that pivot foot was up and the ball is still in his hand when he's starting that dribble, that is a travel. So when I watch this play, and I know you can't see what I labeled the file as, it says traveled 2 times. Does everybody see that?
Yeah.
And these kind of plays, I mean, it got me, can creep up on us and we can say to ourselves, okay, I'm going to let that go. And then as you're talking to yourself, if something else happens and I think I distracted myself and it just kind of, and now, 2-3 seconds later, like, well, got to move on. And we did move on. And like I said, it didn't affect the game at all.
Well, I agree with you that, well, that was a travel, like you said of yourself, but I agree with, if we're watching these plays over and over and over again to see if the person travels in real time, he just got to let him play basketball. I mean, we can watch it and then, oh yeah, that guy traveled, but we're watching it in slow motion.
Yeah. If you have to play a video slow motion and say, oh man, I missed that, but you can't really pick it up real time, it's probably not worth calling. Again, that's just a philosophy. It's not the way the rule is written, but ultimately, it's speaking in general, the less travels you call, probably the better for the game. Get the ones that are obvious to everyone, the ones that everybody sees, and that's the one that really are getting a big advantage of. Don't be the travel Nazi. And I know a couple guys, they love getting their travels. And I do have some too where I'm a real stickler for a little foot drag, but it doesn't really fit the game. So let's try and get the ones that don't fit the game and keep the other ones out.
It should really depend on what the crowd wants, though, right, Josh?
That's right. Ref to the crowd. All right, I have a bonus video that I want to play. Pretty sure this is the one. Are we ready? Here it goes. One more time. What do we see on this?
It's like the player, the white, he grabs the ball and rolls over, so that'd be a travel. They gain possession, call timeout.
I might try and find the longer version. I have a longer version I clipped somewhere. I don't remember where it is, but possible foul here. Would we say possible foul? I can't tell if the kid falls because of his own recognizance or if he got bumped. I'm going to trust that the official saw nothing here. Okay? Possible travel here. Did he travel?
No.
He fell to the floor. The ball, he's the dribbler. He fell to the floor.
He lost the ball.
He does. He's not holding the ball, so it can't be a travel. What about a kick? Is there a kick violation here?
No, absolutely not.
He didn't intentionally try to kick it, right? So no kick.
His momentum took him down to the ground.
Lots of stuff going on here. And it looks like White comes in. Do we have a foul? Did White dive on the blue player?
He goes down.
No.
I don't think so. He kind of just pickpockets him here. That's pretty good.
He rolls over.
You roll over cheeks.
All right. He's sitting here now. He has the ball.
Gain control.
All right. He has control.
Yeah. Now he rolls.
Does he flip over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enough for you to call a travel here?
If they don't call jump ball first. Yeah.
It cleans it up.
Okay, I agree, maybe a travel here. I don't know if I'm good enough because with all this action going on, I don't see a flip over for me if I'm on the floor because I'm so engaged and bodies coming in, right? Ball flailing around. Is anyone going to get fouled? If I'm being honest, I'm probably not going to get this travel. I'm just not going to see it.
Either I'm looking at either it's a jump ball or a foul.
So now what do we have here?
Yeah, it's a jump
Dual
ball.
possession.
Possession, right? That's a jump ball.
I don't even think we have dual possession. It looks like Blue just took it from him. Oh, he let it go. Okay, so they're tugging at it. Tug. When the whistle blows, is that a timeout?
Is he called? I can't.
The coach behind him is the one calling the timeout.
I'm going to say the coach says timeout right here. It looks like he's saying timeout right here. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes, he's calling for it.
But it looks like we got one blue player already in there. Close enough for me to say he doesn't have possession by himself. I'm not granting a timeout here.
No, absolutely not.
There's too many bodies, too many hands. I can't determine if it's sole possession. I'm going to held ball.
Absolutely. That's what I do.
Oh, here it is up close. Let's see. This whole time I had it up close and I wasn't showing it.
Right there. He turns over.
I mean, I think slow, definitely he traveled.
It's hell ball right there. Or either travel, hell ball, or call a foul.
Now, I'm going to say, let's even say the coach is calling for a timeout here, and it looks like there's some sole possession. Okay, let's just say that. I'm still kind of waiting because when you blow your whistle, boop, and now there's two people tugging at the ball, that looks terrible. Do we not agree? You might technically be right. And this is the third period of that game. Remember I told you where they got their butts handed to them? And this coach is already upset. He's already losing. He's already upset that his players can't play very well. The game is already starting to get away from him. And again, we don't officiate to make sure the coaches like us. I'm not saying that at all. But if you can see the trend of the game, even if not the trend, I think it was a held ball, but say to yourself, is a timeout the right call in this situation?
No, you give him no timeout unless he has possession. He never had possession.
I don't think so. Now look at the coach. Right away, he sees that they were both yanking at it. How can you call a timeout? Now he's going to yell at any official he can yell at. And that all could have been avoided if you just said, Coach, the other coach, might be a little like, I was calling timeout, Coach. I couldn't tell. Looked like they both had it. That's what I'm going with. Anybody, you don't have to have the same opinion as me, but what do you think? I
would have had the travel personally, but I can see dual possession and jump ball. I definitely do not have a timeout.
Mike, if you get that travel, then you don't even have to worry about all this other stuff. So, I mean, good for you. And I do think he got it and he flipped over. He can't do that. That's a travel. I think that's fine as a call.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got one more thing to say on this play. Okay, timeout has been called.
That's crazy.
All right, timeout's been called. That's fine. That is the call. We're not going to debate it anymore. It is a timeout.
Oh, well,
what might I say about the rest of this play?
I would think the C might come in and get a closer look on that when that's going on, but that's maybe my inexperience in basketball.
All right, here I'm going to say it. Ready? The official, the trail that calls a timeout. What should he do? He's reporting the foul. First of all,
no,
that team's not even in their huddle. Wait till the teams get in their huddle. Just stand there and wait. You want them to get their full timeout, just wait. I think in the long run, when you wait for both teams, even if it gives them an extra 15, 20 seconds, just wait. And then report it. But he didn't do that. And then what is he doing? While he's reporting, what happens?
He's avoiding the coach is what he's doing.
All these players are like, well, he's got to move around. He's bumping them. And that's exactly what I think you're right. He's doing it. He's trying to get it in as fast as he can because this coach is yelling at him. I totally get that. I don't know what this official is thinking, but I'm going to say to myself, yeah, he's got a point. Maybe I shouldn't have called that. I'm going to let him yell at me for a little bit. I'll stand there and let him yell at me. Okay, Coach. I hear you, Coach. Yeah, you might be right, Coach. Give him a little something. I probably have a thicker skin than most.
Yeah, I tell him he's not yelling at me. I say, let me report this timeout. This is my time to shine. Just got here, Josh. Let me get a video. Anything works.
That's probably not the moment to use humor, Frank. He is pissed at you right now. Right? Look at this, Coach. Do you think this coach wants you to say? You think this coach wants to hear you say, "This is my moment to shine, Coach"? Come on, hold on. Probably not.
Probably.
And you're right, Mike. I think it was you who said that, Mike. I think he's reporting this to the table as fast as he can so he can maybe get out of there. And because the coach is mad. I get that. I totally get that. And I'm not impugning this official. I'm simply saying when we call timeouts, we really need to wait until the players get into their huddles. I do like how Well, I don't know. The lead's kind of coming in to help, but I don't think he is. He's just kind of moseying in like, okay, I'm here. But it does look the center. It looks like the center's kind of coming over to be like, okay, I'm not going to let this get out of control. Oh, and then he walks away. He's like, nope, I don't want any part of that.
You're on your own.
The other situations, it's not easy. And there's no easy do it this way and do it that way, and you're going to avoid this. Some coaches are just going to get upset. And I think he was upset before this play. And this was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. And actually what's not on here is a little bit later after the timeout, he was yelling again and he threw his clipboard down. And then one of the officials came in and kind of sternly warned him, not a bench warning, not a technical foul, just like, coach, come on, you got to be the adult here. I get it. We have to move on. To appeal to his senses, which I thought was the right thing to do because he just felt like he got screwed. And now do you want to stick him with the T or a bench warning? You could, and you'd be in your right, and it might help. But I think ultimately, we as officials, our first reaction should always be, how can I help de-escalate this so we don't have to go there? That doesn't always fit every situation. But I have found, again, and this always, I pause here because we tell guys to get a thick skin, be careful, try not to tee. And then we say, why didn't you tee that coach up, right? You let him go too far. And that's the hard part about coming up. You got to find out where your threshold is and where you're able to help. But I think the more you can talk to a coach and bring him down, the better. Ultimately, you're going to rise among the ranks to get better games. Does that make sense? I don't know. I think I just mumbled and rambled for an hour.
You better play another video for Frank.
All right, Frank. All right, here we go.
So the second quarter, and a first shot attempt won't go at the expiring shot clock. It's going to be a travel on Fenwick. Look that there's some contact between Milicic.
I love it when students announce games.
Yeah.
Here it is again, fast, and then I'll zoom in and let's hopefully.
So the second quarter, and a first shot attempt won't go at the expiring shot clock. It's going to be a travel on Fenwick. Look that there's some contact between Milicic.
Push on Black.
Travel or no travel?
No travel.
Frank, you said you have a foul?
I got a push on Black. I think it looks like he just dove right into his body.
He hipped him. He hipped him.
Right
Frank.
there. Boom. It's like a nice tackle, but unfortunately it's not football. So, yeah, I got him. I got a foul.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
That kid was contacted by another player, and it's not football. When there's a loose ball, you can't do whatever you want to get to the ball. You still have to maintain your own position within your own frame. And he went into White and now the kid was already falling over, but knocked him over, knocked him down. That's a foul.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to figure out where did he get the travel.
And this is in the first quarter, so it's not like we've really established, this team's better than that team or.
Oh my God.
Hey, Josh, this is a good video. And it just seems like as I'm getting a little bit more difficult games, more varsity game, I'm seeing a lot of kids jump above the rim. Do you have any goaltending or basket interference videos, or did you guys already go for a bunch of those?
This is a traveling video, Frank.
Oh, I know that. How about this video? This one's pretty cookie cutter right here, right? I mean, that's a foul. What else is there to look at here?
All right.
Hey, guy called it travel though, Frank.
I'll give you another bonus.
Oh, that guy. We'll have a talk at halftime.
Another bonus play. Here we go. Bonus play number 2.
There you go, Frank.
Bang.
What do you think of that one?
What do you got,
He's
Frank?
got to have that.
Goaltending or legal?
That's a bang play. I don't know.
Before I play it slow, what do you think? Goaltending or legal?
The lead better not say anything. Lee's not looking there. So if the lead has anything, that's problematic.
The glass.
I'm counting the. Man, I gotta see it again in slow mo.
Legal.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm touching that. Wow, man.
One
You
of those
wanted,
LeBron
Frank, you
jump
wanted it.
So for goaltending, right, there has to be 4 things we need here, right?
What are the
Ball
four?
has-
All right, Frank. What are the four
Oh
things?
gosh,
That's good, Frank.
we gotta have a shot attempt,
Wrong.
right? Oh, I'm
Wrong.
already wrong. Oh gosh, has to go.
No, hold
has
on,
a
Frank.
chance
Just
to go
hold on.
around.
Stop.
Okay.
You're wrong
Right.
because
I'm gonna mute myself.
it's not a shot attempt. It is a try for goal.
But he meant that.
I know that's what he meant, and that's why I stopped him. You actually got it right, but it's a try for goal. Okay, so it has to be a try for goal. So what's the next 3?
On its downward flight.
Correct.
Has to be above the rim.
Entirely above the ring.
Right.
Entirely above the rim. And the 4th one, is it? I'm pushing here. Is it a chance to go in?
It has to have a chance to go in. Okay, now, in this play, can you tell if it's on a downward flight?
Still up.
No.
Yeah.
Doesn't.
It might be. It might not be. It is so close.
Yeah, that's really close. It looks like it hit the backboard. The ball is on the backboard.
Okay, and in high school, if it hits the backboard, does that make a difference?
No.
Nope. So that's not a factor in high school.
It looks like he hit it before it hit the backboard.
My point is, can't tell in slow motion with me freeze framing, it's nothing. Right?
Right.
So when you watch it real time, I saw it real time, and I didn't even think even close to that it was. It could have been, but if I can't tell definitively, I'm not calling it. Me personally. I don't know. Some guys will say if it's close, I'm calling it. Well,
No.
I don't agree with that. I want to know. If I call it, I want to know. And if a coach says that's basket first, I could say, Coach, I'm not sure. Not lying. I'm not going to call something that I'm not sure of.
I didn't mean to throw you. Thank you, Judge.
All right. That was traveling with a goaltending at the end. Shall we look at the schedule for next month? It looks like we're going to be in January the 16th for the new year, 2025. And we're going to talk about double whistles. Who takes it? So I don't know how many of you have had pre-games with officials that say no double whistles tonight. What do you mean there'll be no double whistles? That's impossible. I mean, if you happen to not have a double whistle in a game, you're lucky because there's just no way around it. There's always going to be some cross section or someone reaching for what reason or another. So I get their point is generally don't reach into your area. We don't want 2 whistles where we're not supposed to have it, but it's going to happen. So how do you handle the double whistle? When you have a double whistle, how do you know who takes the call and who doesn't? That's what we're going to talk about next month. Should be a good one.
Oh, I love losing the number on double whistles.
That's another real thing, right? Then you say you take it. The other guy says, no, you take it. And then when the one who decides to take it goes, oh, crap, who fouled? Right? And you'll lose the number.
Yep.
So maybe hopefully I'll have a video like that. That'd be kind of nice if I had that. But hopefully you can make it next month and have a wonderful Christmas.
You too, Josh. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
I'll see you guys in January.
All right, we'll see you, Josh. Have a
Later.
Merry Christmas.